Hi everyone! Today is the 20th of February. Last night, just in time to just soak up the beauty of the Virgo full moon we just had, Colette Baron-Reid's Goddess Power Oracle arrived at the house. So I have been so excited for this deck and waiting and waiting and waiting for it. And I figured instead of waiting to do a review, I will do a reveal of this deck and share it with all of you. I mean, I'm sure so many other people out there have already made videos or doing their reviews, reveals, etc., etc. I am not going to do a review right now because, as you guys know, I don't do reviews on decks until I've worked with them for at least a month for the most part, so that I feel clear about what the deck's energy is like and how I work with it, and so I really have an idea of what my thoughts are on the deck. Sometimes when we first get a deck, we can love it so much, and then after time goes by, we realize maybe we don't really work with it well, or there are some things that bothered us. And so I always try to make sure that my reviews are very honest. I almost always buy my decks myself, and if I don't, I always let you guys know that. So Goddess Power is no different. I bought every Colette Baron-Reid deck of mine that I've ever purchased. So, but I was so excited for this deck. I did a video a couple months ago on Colette's decks. For whatever reason, they just read well with me. They work well with me. I don't understand it. I don't know why, but they do, and I don't question it. I'm just very thankful for it at this point in my career as a reader. So the box itself, it was $30, and it retails $39.99, but I think it was like $30 on Amazon. Based on that price, I was assuming it was going to be like Mystical Shaman, as far as like the packaging and everything. It's very close to that, a little bit different, but very close, and I'll show you that in a second. So it comes in this really beautiful big box, as you can see there. This piece, I saved this to show you guys. This piece pops off, but you have to slide it out. So this little piece here, and then this is the nice box. It's nice and sturdy, just like Mystical Shaman. Like, this is one that I would keep so I can carry my deck in it. It has the beautiful triple goddess sign on the back, and then you open it up and it looks like this, and the saying on the inside is: the mystical, the magical, the numinous quality of life is the domain of the fierce and creative feminine aspect of the universe. And then you open this up, and this is like a traditional Hay House box. This has the deck in it, and inside it says magic is everywhere and the goddess will help you claim it. It's got this beautiful red pull ribbon, and you can see you get the same thing on the tuck box too. I'm just going to put that back in there. And then on top of the deck itself is the guidebook, which is the same size as Mystical Shaman as far as this shape. It's the same size and shape. You know what I mean. And so it's all in this gold. It's got this embossed look. And again, you have the triple goddess on the back. I really recommend reading the introduction to this. And some of her decks, I don't really, especially in some of the beginning ones, I don't know, just they were very Hay House-like, so I didn't really pay that much attention to them. But I was really glad that I spent some time reading the little intro section she has, because it helped me to understand why she decided to make the deck and her intention with the deck, and also the way that decks come through to her. She sees them as their own entities, their own living beings, and you know, that she's just channeling the message. And so it's very important to her to be giving the message of various goddesses to heal the collective wound that we have. And she has a quote at the beginning. It says, the world of humanity has two wings. One is women and the other men. Not until both wings are equally developed can the bird fly. Should one wing remain weak, flight is impossible. Not until the world of women becomes equal to the world of men can success and prosperity be attained as they ought to be. And she says, we all need to heal, and my intention around saying yes to this deck would support women while also holding space for an inclusivity that moved beyond the limitations of gender labels. And personally, I really agree with this. Reintegrating the sacred feminine, healing the sacred feminine wound is not a rejection of the masculine. Instead, it's about healing and integration, and that then those labels don't have to matter to the extent that there's wounding around them now, because we've integrated both and they can be halves of the same whole and the spectrum of light and dark in between, right? So she said, I feel this is deeply needed at this time. We need to reweave the feminine into the masculine to find a new collaborative paradigm. In order to serve the true essence of what this oracle could mean to the modern user at this specific time, I needed to look further into the far ancient past. I needed to find what had been lost. So she talks about how she really looked at a lot of the myths with these goddesses, but this isn't a history deck on the goddesses. This is more about distilling the message she felt that they were giving her for each goddess and helping us to connect with that message and how it applies in our life, which I thought was very beautiful. And it's great that she said that from the beginning so that when we go into it, we're not expecting to also get a history lesson on the goddess herself. Okay, so sorry, I did just grab a tea really quick. And she has some spreads in the beginning, and she talks a lot about, actually she talks about Kali coming in. She thought she was going to bring a different goddess in, but Kali was the one who made it very clear that she wanted to be present, and she wanted to be present in a different way than we typically see her. So it's interesting, looking at healing the sacred feminine and then looking at the myths through fresh eyes as well. And I found this for myself to be very healing when it came to working with the myth of Persephone, with the archetype of Persephone, that I had to rewrite that from a feminist or sacred feminine perspective in order to understand why that myth existed at this time. So it's like unpacking the patriarchal version of these myths and then exploring them from a place of wholeness. What is the wisdom that we can find in that archetype? And I really feel like, at least from the little bit of time I've spent, that she has definitely come more from that perspective than from here's the history of the archetypes and the myths of the goddesses. Now, everyone knows my birth card is the Hierophant. I love research. I love history. I love looking into that. There is a place for that in our paths. But when we're talking about healing this wound, I do think that a fresh approach is also a part of that big picture. So I was very happy to see that. She also invites you to kind of create community around this too, like creating a goddess night once a month with you and like-minded people, and really connecting over that, maybe working with the cards or bringing the goddesses in, that kind of thing. So then you get into the card meanings. She does have some spreads, like I said. Then you get into the card meanings. So you get a black and white reproduction, and then you have the empowerment message, which is upright, and reversed is the alignment message. When it's in alignment, it's talking about kind of course correcting, not in a negative or scary way, but more paying attention to what you're bringing up in shadow right now. So, and there are, I think it's 52. Yep, there are 52 cards in the deck. So I'm going to talk, and I have shuffled because I did have them out in the full moon energy last night, getting all that beautiful gorgeousness. So some will be reversed, and I'm just going to show them to you, and sorry, but I've already shuffled my deck, even though this is a reveal. The cardstock is matte, just like the Mystical Shaman Oracle. I'm so happy about this because I love the matte cardstock. I want like all my decks to be matte cardstock now. The only thing I will say, this is a little flimsier than the Mystical Shaman, but not too much, and it shuffles very well. The Mystical Shaman deck I found in this matte cardstock, this particular type, has lasted so well for me. The Mystical Shaman deck I used every day for a year last year, and that deck is still in great shape, and it's still working good to my knowledge. I have a new copy now, but that original copy was still in great shape. So to me, this cardstock and the matte aspect really lasts well if you're someone who does want to use your deck every day. So I'm really excited that she did the same thing with this. So here are some of the images. And then it was fascinating. This is the first card I drew from the deck, was Hera. I drew her upright last night, got up this morning and drew her reverse, which is the alignment message. So I was like, these goddesses have a lot of really good things to say, and they're speaking pretty clearly already. So this is Hera. You will see she did good with different ethnicities and different ages. I wish there was a little bit more diversity in the ages, but I do think we got some older women in here too. Here's Hecate. And some of them really pushed me, like, this is not how I envision Hecate at all. Some of you might know that I work with Hecate very closely, and I was like, it's not quite how I picture Hecate, and yet I can feel something from this image that I will choose to connect with. So I love this one. Danu or Donna, depending on how you like to pronounce that. So the way that I'm trying to remember, that was upside down. There's a key word, so like Bronwyn has forgiveness, and then in the meaning she goes into the specifics. So I'm not going to show you guys all of them, but I am going to show you a good amount. There's Kuan Yin. I was so happy to see Kuan Yin in there. You guys know that I love Kuan Yin. That's beautiful. This card size, I love this one. Oh, she's so pretty. Is the same as Mystical Shaman. So here's an older lady depicted in Mary with miracles. As you guys know, it's not necessarily my favorite type of artwork, but they're, again, Colette's decks are just, I love this one, Yukiona. They're really good. They're just really good. I love the happiness and joy in that face. There's Hestia. Mama Kila with the moon. There's Sophia, so she's slightly older. Skull of the future. Mama Kocha with water. There's Gaia. I love this image of Freya. I was very impressed with this. Saraswati. I do want to find, Metis with wisdom. I love her. Isn't she beautiful? Okay, there's Isis is, you guys know that Isis is a big deal for me, and I'm very rarely impressed with depictions of Isis. The Isis Oracle by Alana Fairchild is my favorite Isis deck. I am okay with this image of Isis. I wish that it was a little bit different, but I'm gonna let go of that. I'm super picky about my Isis depictions. Here's Easter. Here's another slightly older woman with Brehid. Iris, or Bridget, however you choose to say that. I love Spider Woman. My son loves Spider-Woman too. Oh, Lilith was one of my favorite depictions. There's one that I wanted to show you. Oh, I loved Mott. I thought Mott was gorgeous. Kali, there she is. So in the guidebook, Colette talks about Kali wanting to be depicted differently than how she typically is, and they really did, and I actually quite prefer that depiction of her than from what I typically see. There's Ocean and Nemesine with the past. And I'll stop with White Buffalo, Catwoman, so that you get some surprises if you decide to get the deck. So that's the reveal. My initial feelings are I love it. My first few draws were spot on. Like I said, the first two were the same goddess, each in a different position, and I felt like I got some very clear messages with that I definitely needed to hear. So I feel my first couple pulls have been very accurate. I intend to work with the deck later on today and this evening, and so we'll get more of a feel for it. But it's a Colette deck. There's a lot of intention, a lot of focus, a lot of power, and when it comes to reading, they just read like a dream. They read very comfortably. You develop a language with them very easily. And if you're just starting working with decks, they're a great place to start. But even if you're a seasoned reader, there's a lot of joy to be had in connecting with her decks. So as far as my first feelings on the Goddess Power Oracle, I'm absolutely in love with it. Let me know what you guys think if you've gotten it. If you haven't, and this is helping you to consider purchasing it, I would say give it a go. I know it's a little bit pricier for a Hay House deck, but I think you definitely are getting your money's worth, and I would rather pay a little bit more and have that matte cardstock that's a dream to shuffle and work with and that lasts so well, because it does make a really big difference when you're using your deck every day. So yeah, there it is, the Goddess Power Oracle. I was so excited that it arrived on the full moon, and I just had I am so excited, so excited. So if you want to see some images of me working with the deck, definitely check out my Instagram page, because I'll be posting that on there. And just really, really excited about this deck, guys. I'm really in love with it. So I hope you're all doing well. I will see you in the next video. Take care, much love, and many blessings, guys. Bye.